Hey everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. In this part 3 of guest game, I'm going to be walking you through JavaScript. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is the programming language that helps us to handle events. Helps us to listen to events on website. When a button is clicked, it is expected to do something. What enables it to do something is what the JavaScript. Okay. Now in the part 1, we look at the HTML, the structural part of the website, how we can use the tag, how we can achieve the structure we want, and of course CSS helps us to position our element in a proper way. Let's look at it on the browser. It helps us to position our element wherever we want it to be, and also help us to reshape element from rectangle to circle, square, and so on and so forth. And in the part 2, we did not add the emojis, but I've added that already. So if you want to look up to that, you can check the GitHub for the repo and fork it and clone it to your repo and work on that. So without further ado, let's get started with JavaScript. Okay, so and before then, in order to make our game more robust, we want to add a loading component spinner. Then when you click on start, it loads for 5 seconds or 1 minute before it moves to the next component of level selection. So in that case, we need to add HTML tag as well, then use CSS to style that. So immediately after the end here of the prompt component for the user name, I'm going to be creating a spinner here, spinner component, then end here. Okay, so let's say spinner wrapper. Then inside here you can say load or loading dot. That's good. Then we need three spinner. Good. We need 3. So you start with, if you need that, anytime you start with dots, that's you are telling the system that you are creating div, then the class name multiply by 3. We need 3. Yeah. So the first one we can say spinner of different color, red, spinner of color green, and spinner of color blue. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at it. If you look at you can see it load here, but it won't be visible yet. It won't be visible. So let's hide this class by adding this class hide, so that we can have this alone. Good. So let's style it. What we're going to be using here is just HTML and CSS to get that running. Okay, so here in the CSS file, that's game.css, let's call the spinner wrapper. Let's give it a border to see what we are working on, solid and red. Let's see. Good. Can you see? So we're going to giving it the width of 200 pixel, the height also 200 pixel. So let's see it. Good. So let's position the item in between. So let's say item in between, that's display flex, then justify content center, align item center. Good. So let's work on let's say box sizing. We want it to be here, so that we increase the height or width of that. So let's add this first. Let's equally say pointer event none. Okay, so So we have pointer event now. All right, now we want this text to be going up and down, okay, to be fading in and fading out. So let's look. First and foremost, you will declare an animation. Good. The name of the animation will be text color. Then the duration of it, let's say 2 seconds. That's 2 seconds. Then the timing function. The timing function, should we say, is in and out. Then the delay iteration count, let's say infinite. Then alternative, yeah, that's the fill the direction. Yeah, so we are done with that. What's the name of the text? Okay, that's it. Okay, the text is actually is an element directly inside what, inside the spinner wrapper. So please take note of this. Yeah, so let's now the name of this animation, we're going to be creating a keyframe for it. Keyframe. Inside the keyframe, you have to give it another text color. Good. So from 0%, we want the color of the text to be RGBA 00, that's black, and the transparency is also what, black. Then the middle one, 50%, so 50% color. Let's give it RGBA black, also black. Then the transparency should be 0.5. okay. Then for the 100%, let's say color RGBA 0, 0,1. So let's look at what we have now. Good. Let's increase this the font size. Let's increase that font size. Let's say 18 pixel. Is it okay? Let's increase it to 20 pixel. I think it's okay. How do you say it? Let's increase. Okay, text. The font width should be bold. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the circle. We're going to be creating the circle roundabout. It will be springing around. That's why we call it spinner, right? Okay. So let's set a property for this spinner as well. In the CSS, place spinner. The same is going to take the size of the container spinner wrapper, and the height as well, 100%. But if you can see, it has moved this text to it has pushed it away from the center to this place. Why? Because we need to make it relative. So spinner wrapper, let's say position relative, then the position of the inner spinner is going to be absolute. Good. Can you see it now? So let's put a border, let's say 16 pixel solid. Let's say black. Let's see what we have on black. Good. Can you see it now? But we want it to be a circle. So we are going to make it 50% to have a perfect circle. Good. But however, we don't want it to go outside this container, that square. So let's say box sizing border board. So it takes the shape, the height, the width of the container. So everything is deducted in this, in the width, length, and the height length. Okay, so now it's actually three things that is overlaying, right? So here let's set a property called overflow hidden. Good, hidden. Then we can remove this now. This, we are not actually using it again. Good. So the next thing we need to do now is to the three component. Don't forget there are three spinners here, 1 2 3, red and black. Okay, red, green, wherever. So let's set those also. Okay, let's copy the same. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Let's copy animation. Let's put it in here. But its own animation, let's give it a name. Let's call it rotate. Let's call it rotate. And let's remove this, the alternate. Good. So there's nothing yet, right? So let's set a frame, a keyframe as well for that rotate, right? Rotate, that's the name of the animation. Then we want to set the value of 0%. That should be should we say position or rotate? That's transform. Let's see the transform property. Do we have rotate? Yes, the rotate value is what we want to set on this this transform. That's 0°. We need the 0° for this one. From 0°, we want it to rotate down to 100, 360°. So we have 100, that's 0%. For 0%, we have 1,000. Okay, 100°. Then transform from 100 to rotate. Let's say 360°. So let's see. We can actually see if it's actually moving or not. But however, having set this one now, we have set the keyframe rotate. So let's look at it one after the other. The first one here we have for the red, the class. Let's look at the class red. Let's set the property for that. 1 2 dot. We need the property of border color. We need border color light coral. Yeah, light coral. Yes, this, let's give it transparent. Then can you see it now? Can you see it's rotating, but we can't see it? Okay, let's set for the other one. Let's copy and paste. Okay, don't let us copy. Let's type it out. Spinner underscore green. We need green here. So for the border color, we give it light green. Good. And for the last one, which is the blue rather, spinner blue. Okay, what's again, border color light blue. Okay, can you see it? It's actually moving. Okay, so we don't want the perfect circle for all of those. So it's going to be, one is going to be at the left hand side, right hand side, and the left hand side. So let's make the red to be at the left hand side. Then green top. Then this should be at the right. Good. Can you see it now? Oh, cool. So let's let's do something also. We want it to overlay instead of it. You can see them now, they are not overlaying one another, they are relative to one another. We want it to be overlaying. So what do? We say overlay, that's blend, mix blend, overlay. Can you see? So they can overlay one another to form other color. All right, no, let's do something also. The transitioning time, let's make it let's declare a variable here, duration. Let's make it 1.5 seconds. So, and also duration and the type, the timing should be is and out. Okay, we'll copy and paste to all of those. So instead of, we are going to be putting out, let's say, should we apply out for this? Let's put in, then the out. Okay, the time, let's increase it to 2. So similarly for the blue, let's put out. So here we are going to be 2.5. So this variable we've declared, now to use this variable, we're going to be, for the duration here, we're going to inject the variable in there. So we use variable method, then you can use the duration. Then for the timing is out, you have a variable also method, then you say time. So let's look at what happened. Can you see it now? Can you see? So this is how to implement spinning. Okay, all right, I think we are done with this now. So what we want to do now, JavaScript, let's go to the JavaScript. The JavaScript should be able to, let's hide, we won't see it there, we hide it already. So JavaScript is the one we want it to, when we click on this, when the user enters name and click on this, it should lead to that spinner. Okay, so now let's continue. First thing first, let's target the button and this. Okay, I'm going to be opening JavaScript side by side with the HTML so as to see what we are doing. So this is the JavaScript file. Let's check if it is linked already. Let's say can you see? Let's say linked. Can you see it now? Let's refresh the browser. Can you see linked? So it's linked already. So let's remove that. First thing first, like in the former video we did on JavaScript, we say first of all, get your element, get all the elements from HTML document. So how do we get our element? We can get element by ID or by query selector, by class. So in order to get by class, let's open the HTML site. So first and foremost, we want to get the name of the user and know if the user have really enter something. We don't want empty field. Okay, the name is required. So to get that, we need the input element and this element and even the container element. First and foremost, let's collect the container element. So here we come, we say constant. Let's declare it constant. I'm going to be using the same name, that's container user wherever. Then query selector, since we are using class to get it, not ID here now, we are using class. So the name of the class, that's dot. So query selector double quote dot, the name of the class. So after then, we need to get this also, the text input. What's the name of the input? We call it what? We class name is what? Username. So let's call it username. So equals to query set document, query selector, username. Okay, now followed by the button. What's the name of the button? We have start button. start button equals to the query selector start button, close it. Good. So we've gotten all of those elements that we need for this first container. So let's equally get this spinner. So constant, let's get everything we need. Spinner, the major container wrapper, that will be wrapper equals to query selector spinner underscore wrapper, as the name is, as we have the name here, so you do the same. Okay, so I think we are done with that. Let's stop there first. Let's do with the input and this also. So can I close this now? Let's move this one first. Let's see what will happen. So now the second thing we need to do is to add event listener to the button, start button. Okay, so it's the event listener that will listen when the user enter and you click on enter or start rather, it will check first, is this field, the user field, empty. If it is empty, it's going to throw an error. If it is not, it's going to continue with the game. So first and foremost, let's look at what we can do with that. Let's say error. Let's declare a class. Under the height. Let's call it error. Okay, let's call it error. Then let's put a color border, border 1 pixel, solid, and let's say light. That's red, light color. All right, good. There's nothing here. Now let's add the event listeners to the button, start button dot add event listener. So I told you previously that event listener takes two arguments. The first one is the name of the event, followed by the callback function. Okay, so I'm using arrow function. So first thing first, let's check if the entry, that is the user dot value, is not equals to empty, or let's say if it is equals to empty, we want to alert and say please enter a username. Okay, so let's do that and also return and stop the running here. Okay, so let's try that out first. Let's reload. Let's try and submit and see what will happen. Can you see? Since we have not entered anything here, it won't permit us to go further. Even if you put alert here, it won't do anything. Can you see? Let's say thank you for entering your username. Okay, let's say thank you for entering your username. Let's see. Can you see? Say please enter a username. So you can see it does not go further. Since we say return, it won't go further to execute anything. So let's assume the user enter value. What will happen is it thank you for entering what user name. So you get it now. So in this particular place, instead of us saying please enter this, we want to make sure that this is red. Okay, we want to put a border red so as to know that error has occurred in that particular place. Okay, so let's do it this way. We say user dot class dot hard error. So hard error will help us to will tell the system, no, error, this is an error, you have not entered username, shows red. Also, let's change the username to please enter the username. What we have here, the message we have here, we're going to be putting it inside the placeholder dot placeholder equals to this value. So let's look at what will happen. Can you see? Please enter a username. Okay, or this field cannot be empty. So let's equally change the color. Let's say username dot style dot display dot style, excuse me, dot, I want to see if we can add colors to it from here, which we can, but let me see if I can still remember the okay. I think so. Let's see. Okay, it works actually. It works. We can add color. You can add colors to that. Okay. So, but however, let me say, what should we do? Okay, let's remove that, but instead let's put an icon here that will show red as well. Let's do that. Hope you are still following. We are only checking, we are validating this entry first. We are not doing anything special now. So let's go back to this entry inside the label, that's username. Let's add a class of, let's call it error icon. Okay, error icon exclamation mark. So let's copy this error icon, and this label, we have the label in CSS. Let's look for research label. Okay, label. So this label, let's give it a position relative. Is there already relative? So then let's add the error emoji. Let's say border 1 pixel solid and red. Let's see what will happen. Good, as you can see it there. Then let's say position of that should be absolute. Okay, absolute. Then let's say position absolute z index of 10 to bring it up, or absolute. Okay, I think first and foremost, let's say something right. The right 16 pixel, I want it to come to the right side of the good. The right side, good. Then let's give it a width of 23 pixel, good, and the height of 23 pixel, good. Then justify, to use justify we need the display to be flexed. Then justify content center, let's see, good, and align item center to, good. So this we're making it to be a perfect circle. So we say border radius 50%, good. Then the background color should be light red, light coral, good. Then let's remove this, let's remove that border radius, border. Then what do we need? Color, the text color in it, instead please look at it, instead of black exclamation mark, we want white, so we'll say white. Good. But let's make it font size to be large. Okay, it's not visible. Font width weight bold. Good. I think that's good. So let's reduce this right value to be, let's say 12. Okay, 10. Let's say 8. 8 is okay. So when error occurs, we want it to show with this border red. Okay, so let's hide it here. Where is it? Let's hide. So if you hide it, you won't see it again. Good. So we want it to show when this error occur. So let's come here, let's get that element as well. Constant is equals to, yes, error icon, then we stop that. Okay, we've gotten that now. So from here we're going to say error icon dot class dot remove. You know, initially we had what's it called, we had this hidden class to it, this hide class to it, so that's why we could not see the error at the initial state until error is being committed. If the user does not enter any value here, then it will comes up. Okay, it will remove that particular it will remove it and replace it with what, with, you know, it will show that icon. So if the user else, that is, if all of this is met, so this is what we want to do. Copy, you will say, then this one will be removed, then this one will be added. So then this placeholder is going to be nothing. So let's try that. If nothing is there, it shows this. But if we have entered value now and click on this will disappear. Can you see? It will disappear. Okay, so this is what that actually came out, and let's remove it. Good. So we are done with the check. Okay, we are done with the check. So what we need to do now, if the user enter name, enters the name and press start, it will make this one to be disabled and show other thing. Okay, so let's look at what we want to show. This one, check for the emptiness. Check if the user has enter user name. Okay, so check. So next thing now is to remove this component. Having entered the name, we want to remove this component called user container.user. We want to hide it. Let's hide it. Container.user. So we have it already. We've collected it. You see, it's here. So we say dot class list dot add. So what are we hiding? We want to hide it. Let's see if I click on this now. Okay, until I enter the value, can you see it disappeared? Then it should show the spinner, right? It should show this. So let's see, we have it there already. Good, let's just put it. We have already collected it. Can you see it's there? So dot, you say class dot list dot remove. We want to remove this hide class based on what the user entered. Okay, so hide remove. So let's try it again. Let's enter name and let's click. Can you see? Good. So this is we've achieved. We've linked the first phrase to the second phrase. Okay, so the username, we can put the username there, that you are welcome. Okay, it might not be here, so let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. So what we want to do, we want this to rotate for 5, is it 2 to 1 to 2 minutes, or should we say 5,000 is 1 seconds, 2 seconds, okay, 10,000. So we're going to be using set interval. Set interval takes 2 parameters. It takes callback function and also the time for the time delay. So this delay is this 10,000 is 10,000 nanoseconds, meaning this is equivalent to let's say 1,000 is 1 seconds, so 10 seconds actually. So let's look at that. So inside this function, we're going to call this spinner to disappear. After that minute, you should remove the component and hide it. Okay, let's see. Let's start again. If I enter now error, let me enter the right value. Enter. Can you see? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It disappears now. Can you see? So when it disappears, we want to display the next component, which is the what? The level component. So how do we do that? We need to get the element also first. So to get the element, we get it using what? Using query, then the level. Good, is there already. So can you see it now? So inside this, immediately after this one disappear, we want to show the level. So we say class dot remove. We want to remove this hide CSS class so that it can be visible. So let's try again. Let's enter name. If I enter an error, then let's enter the right name. Then let's look at it. Yeah, it's loading. Good. So it shows that select a level. So this select a level now, when you select either of this level, this easy level, meaning that you should suggest number from 1 to 10. Computer might have generated number now. Okay, from this component now, the computer has already generated a value, and keeps it inside a computer memory. So, and it ranges from 1 to 10. Okay, when you click on this, computer generates the value from 1 to 10. When you click on this, computer generates number from 1 to 50 inclusive. Then if you click on hard, meaning computer generates from 1 to 100. So you now get within that range. Okay, so but later after this tutorial, we're going to be creating, I'm going to give you assignment. The assignment is you should display the name, the username at the right corner, the top right corner of this screen. Okay, that's your assignment. So reach out to me, submit it, and let me see it. Okay, and just screenshot it and send it to me, and follow me on GitHub. So follow me, and there you can make a pull request to submit, or you reach out to me via my email. So let's get started. Now let's add event listing. Now when I click on this, you should do something. Okay, let's look at that. To do that, we have to get this add event listener to these 3 buttons. So where do we get that from? Okay, from here. It is called option. So option, and don't forget, I told us something earlier, that this is an array. If we are getting query selectors all, it's going to throw an array for us like option. Look at it, options. Let's call it options. Option is equals to query options. So this is going to, let's print that option out. Let's say log out options. Let's see what will happen. Let's come here and see it. Can you see something? Okay, let's enter the right thing. So good. Let's wait for it. It's going to give us the options value. Okay, it should. Okay, I think let me put it inside so that when you click on this one, it shows us all the option. Let's put it here. Okay, okay, it didn't show. Okay, sorry, it's actually option, not options. Can you see it now? That's why it's supposed to show here. Okay, let's go back. You will see it will come up. It's because of the name, so you have to be careful when you are typing. Can you see it now? We have it here. Can you see? We have option. We have option. Is there only one? No, it should be more than one. Okay, it's because we use query selector. It should be all. You can use query selector is different from query selector all. Can you see? All will give us for an array. Can you see list? First one, second one, third one. First one, which is at index 0, we have. Can you see the value? Can you see it? It's too long. Let's open it. So but this one is the one between 0 and 10. Okay, let's print out something now. Option dot inner html. Okay, let's see that. Let's refresh, and nothing like inner.html option. So let's say dot should we check for value? No, I want to just 0. Okay, I want us to target this dot what, how can we target that? Entries. Let's see, entries dot name. Okay, entries. Okay, now this is what I want us to do. All right, I think I've remember now. So you know this is an array, right? Array of list of 3 items. So the first item, let's see what is inside the first item. Can you see? The first item has the easy. That's the easy part of the game. So the easy, can you see? Then we have the range class, which is from 1 to 0. So what we want to get is the value, is this value. So we know already that the first option is within the range of 0 to 1, right? So what I want to do now, I'm going to be setting some value for that. So for the second one, we are going to be having from 1 to 50, and from the third one, which is index 2, we are going to be having index 2. So we have 0, 1, 2, index 2, 1, then 2. So the 2 is going to be 0 to 10. Good. So that is what we are going to be doing there. Okay, so before then, let's go to the That will be when you click on, let's say, Sunday, enter. So I'm going to be adding event listener on each of those elements, that is options. Can you see? When I click on this, I want it to print out the value, the maximum value. So let's set another event listener. So that one, since it's an options, so we're going to be using for each element in this array options, just singular. And then we want to, let's say, print out option, print out the option. Let's go, let's refresh, let's enter the name. Good. Please look at the screen very well. It's responsive. I've added at media query as well. Can you see? This is a mobile iPhone XE, so it's responsive. Now let's click on easy. Intermediate and hard. Okay, let's see what is happening. The name is options. Okay, we did not actually add event at all. So for each, this one we iterate through it, then we add the event listener to each of this one of this option dot add event listener. Then the type of event is click, followed by the callback function. I'm using arrow function now. Then let's print out the option value, the option, not even value now, option. So let's see, SPA, enter. Good. So if I click on the easy, see what comes out is what? The range. So if I click on the hard, it's going to give me the range of what? The hard, which is 1 to 10. If I click on the intermediate, it's going to give us 0 and 1. So we've gotten that now. So what we're going to be doing now is to save the level of complexity. So what I'm going to be doing now is to declare a variable. We need to declare a variable. Is that variable that will help us. So let's say variable, should we declare inside this place? If it is, how do we skip the value? Okay, let's see what we can do regarding this value. So inner HTML, let's see what that will give to us. Good. Good. So it actually brought in the value inner.html. Then it brought in the value, the two inner values. Can you see the range? Can you see the range? So what we will do is to know. All right, let's try this. Let's try this value. Let's try this. Yes, I remember something. In this place now, let's add data. Let's say level. Let's call it level. Then in the level, we can say the first one 10, 50, and 100. Good. I think now we'll be able to access that value. So option dot data option dot data. Let's see that. Let's see what will happen. Spark. This is JavaScript. Okay, if you have any question regarding this, please do well, reach out to me. And on divine, on divine, on divine. Yes, it's on divine because we did not put it in, let's say, level. Let's see. It shouldn't show on divine now, I think. Let's see. Loading. All right, let's click on the first one. No value. All right, so what should we do? Okay, let's try something. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the time so that it won't be taking much of our time to load. Okay, so let me reduce it to 1000. Okay, if it is 1000, let's see how far it will be. Good. All right, so with that we can actually test our code. So let's call data level. It's still okay. Let's print it out. Let's see what will happen. Let's see how we can get that data value. The data value we set here, that's data level. Let's see how we can access it. Okay, data level. So to get the data level, let's say option. Okay, how do we get the data level? Okay, let's say dot class. If we are able to get the class, then we should be able to get the class. Is not divine. Actually, it's not divine. Sorry, we have to put the events. Then the event, from the event we can now access the class. Event dot target, then get the class. Please check this tutorial again and again. Be patient with JavaScript. Watch the old tutorial that have used JavaScript to get acquainted or familiarize yourself with it. Okay, so let's try again. On divine. Okay, let's remove this. Let's print out the target alone. Yes, it works now. Yes, so we need to target the class. So how do we get the class? The data type. Okay, let's say that data. Let's see data. Let's see if we can access it from data. It's on divine too. On divine. Dot target. Say data dot level. Data dot level. Still on divine. What's going on here? Okay, let's try this. Let's print out the events and see what will happen. Let's see. Good. Yes. So let's see what actually this pointer event. Let's see what we have access to from here, from the list of event property. Okay, we have type click. Okay, under here we have target. Let's see, inside the target we have access to class name. Yes, class name, we have access to class name. And data set, yes, can you see it now? We have access to data set. Can you see 10 dot level? So let's see that. Dot target dot data set dot level. So let's see. Good is correct now. 150 correct. So this is what we're going to be using to collect the level from here. Can you see it now? The constant level. Let me use LVL equals to this. So this is the level. This is what computer is going to be using to generate value. So let's declare a global variable. Let's call it a global variable. Let's generated number equals to none value. So to generate the number now, generated number is equals to pass. Okay, we use mathematics, then random dot random number multiplied by level, plus 1, because the random number generates value from zeros to 1, like a probability value. So but for now we add 1. We don't want 0 in the case that the computer will generate 0, because the value must be 1, at least 1, so at most 100. Okay, so we're going to be changing the random float value to integer value. So this one will save the value. So let's print it out. Let's see what will happen. Let's see what computer will generate as soon as we click on the level. So let's say log out generated value. Let's see that. So if I click on easy, it is expected to generate value from 1 to 10. Can you see 2? If I click on it again, 8, it can't go beyond that, and it can't go below 1. So if I click on intermediate, it can generate that. Can you see? If I click on hard, it generates higher value. Okay, can you see? So that makes it, I can use 100, 100. So let me show you that again. Mathematics is a class, okay, so built in JavaScript. Okay, then we have random method that help us to generate value from 0 to 1, a probability value. Can you see? 0 to 1. So in the situation whereby we generated 0 point, like in this case now, 0.5, 0.5 multiplied by 10, it will give us 5, meaning that it will help convert it. Let's see it like this. So random multiplied by, we now have the idea that random generates number from 0 to 1, right? So when you multiply, let's say 10 now to rate, it will convert, that is from 0.6. Are we together? From 0.6, okay, let me try something. Number 0.6 from 0.16. So 10 multiplied by 0.16, it gives us 1.69. So if you now convert this, the reason why we say plus 1 is that you can have 0.01. So 0.01 multiplied by 10 will still give you what is 0. So we don't want a 0 value. That is why we now say plus 1. In case we have what? The result from here gives us 0.0 something, okay? So this one will add up to that 0.0 something to 1.0 something, okay? So can you see it now? It's supposed to be 5.26, but plus 1 gives us 6.2, okay? So now, this, we don't need a floating value. What we need is integer value, that is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, all these fraction, we don't want it. So how do we treat that? We use parse integer. So that parse integer converts the float value. What do I mean by float value? That value that we are generating with fraction, it converts it to an integer value. So multiply by 10 plus 1, close the bracket. If you see it now, can you see? It changes it from fractional value to integer value. So that's what we want to do now. That's why I put parser integer. So parser integer converts decimal value to what? To whole number. That's what we have here, from decimal value to whole number. All right, so having done that, we have gotten that one first. So now when we have selected the level, we want to move to the next phrase, and the next phrase is the next phrase here is going to be this, or should we equally show the loading part of the system? Should we? Okay, let's show it. Let's show load. Let's show load. Let's show the load. So to show the load, I believe you know what we need to do. We have already collected it here. That's a spinal wrapper. So coming down here, immediately after this one shows, we want to hide this container, level container. So we can say container level dot class remove. Is it remove? It's not remove, it's to add. So once we select the level, we want to what? Hide it, then show the next value, okay? So hide it, then what again should we do? Hide, click on that, hide. Then we want to show the spinner. We say class dot remove is equals to, okay, hide. So let's try something out here. Click on enter. Can you see? Click on it. Okay, it's coming back here. Why? Okay, let's do something. Instead of loading all of this one, let's okay, what if we do it this way? Instead of iterating through all the elements, I told you it's an array. We can access it by using 0. So let's try that out. Let's see. SPA. Good. Wait. Oh, it should be plural. That's options. Don't forget the plural options. So the first one is this one. The first one is that. So let's see. Spark, enter, load, select, load. Then now we don't want it to come to this place. Okay. We want it to show. We want it to show other value. So meaning we can still go back to the first level. So what we're going to do now is to set the time that the spinner will roll. Let's say set interval. So the interval will take into parameter one function, the other one the time to roll. Okay, so now what we want to do, we've added this one, then spinner remove, then want to add it back. So it's going to be add. Then from there we can now display the interface, the user interface. So we have not gotten that from here. So let's say this is equals to user interface. So let's go down and get that. So user interface dot class dot remove the class that is hiding it, which is hide. So what will happen? Let's enter. Good. So we are to hide this level. I don't know why it's still coming up. Container level dot container. What should we do? I think the issue is from hide. Okay, let me check what is happening somewhere here. So remove class shows. So when I added hide. Okay, I'm going to be, let's say, this level. Could it be that? Okay, let me try something. Let's try this. Let's move this one out. Let's remove this. Let's try for item 1, and let's see what will happen. Let's see if we are still going to have the same issue. So if I select this, it's supposed to remove this. So let's see. Let's go back again, since that is not the issue. Then let me remove it inside this time also. So I add the level. So what is the name? It should be container level. Okay, let's try it again. serious now. It's coming up and down. Why? Let me try and get something right here. Remove issues. Then okay, let's say plural. Let's remove this. I think we can now remove this one now. Why is it coming up? Or should I remove this timer? Generate the value. Wait, okay, what if I don't actually have this spinner? Let's see what will happen to it. Hide. So I don't actually need time. I don't need time. I don't need this time again. Let me bring it out. Then let's comment it. Let's comment it. So we are not using the spinner again. We are hiding this and removing this so that the interface will show. Let's try again. Why is it showing again? Hide. You should hide it now. So wait, okay, let's check if container this contains this. Contain this. Let's use the conditional. If it contain this, if it does not contain, if it contains this, say remove. So let's say that's not the logic, but let's see how logical that could be. Hard. Let's see. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay. It works, but why is it coming up by itself? Okay, let's check some. Let's inspect it. Good. All right, let's get started by putting the name. Good. Then the spinner is hide. This one is being it's made visible. So let's click on this. It should hide. It's removing it. Can you see? It's removing it. Okay. Okay. Now I get. Okay. Can we make it? Let's make this container level. Let's make it let. Let's change it to let. So it's not actually that. So what is going on here? Okay. Let's do something like the event E. The event E. Let's prevent defaults. Prevent defaults. Prevent defaults. It will prevent it to not reload. Okay. So let's try this one. Prevent defaults. Also prevent default. Let's try it again. Let's refresh and enter the value. Then select hide container level hide. Okay, let's try something out. So let's look at it deeply. Let's try and let's change this to 2. Let's change this to 2. So let's try it. Let's try this. Let's try this logic. Good, it works. So it works. So let's use this. So what do we do? Let's go back to our normal formal rules. Okay, where we won't comment this. Yes, it's cool. So what we're going to do now is to let's prevent default from refreshing by itself. Okay, then let's come back here and say 0 really. Yeah, let's use this. Okay, let's use that. Remove this, then hide this. So then display this. All right, let's try it. Good. So it works fine. Okay, so here the assignment I gave to you, you can do something regarding that here. Okay, what do? It's just very simple. Coming down to this place now, here inside the HTML file we have the we have the welcome. Let's see. Okay, welcome user. Can you see this welcome user? We can just wrap it, can put it around a span. Can you see welcome user? Let's see it again. So it's still there. So what you just do here is you can give it a class name, display user name. So display username, we're going to remove this. So it's the name that we enter here, the user enter here, that is going to come up here. Okay, welcome blah blah blah. So how do we solve that issue? And more also, let's go back to our normal one, option dot for each value option arrow no arrow. Okay, so let's move it inside that. Good. So option dot for each element, then you have this. Okay, so it's still working fine. Let's see. Good. So the name now, to put the name, what's the name of this span? We call it a display username. So let's get that as well. Cost display username is equals to this display username. Good. So what we do is to set the value the user. Okay, the value should be here. Okay, Control Z. Okay, display the value will be when the user actually entered name. Okay, display the value dot value is equals to username, the username dot value. So let's check that out. So when I enter welcome, supposed to show Sunday. Okay, let's see what is happening. Display username. Let's check it here. Do we actually get it right? Display username. Display username. Display user name. Okay, query selector, username dot value. Okay, this is not actually value, it's inner dot text dot inner, let's see, yes, it works. So we have inner text or text inner, thereabout. I think we have that. Okay, please check, look up to that inner HTML, HT or text, let's say text. Okay, let's check that. Let's confirm something. So instead of using inner display underscore username dot, let's say text content. Yes, text content. Let's try it again. APICT I of select. Good. Can you see it now? Good. It actually shows that. All right, good, it worked fine. So that is the assignment we've done already. So what next now is to compare your entry with the computer entry. Okay, if you enter, you compare it. Okay, so another thing that we need to ask to is, this is getting very long, so I'm going to break the tutorial. So this is where we stop. We're going to start from where we stop. Okay, so watch out to this part 4 of JavaScript. Okay, part 4, this is part 3, we are ending here. But watch out for part 4, where we're going to be completing the game. The user enters value, then you submit to compare with what computer generated. Okay, all right, let me show you something first. Where we have generated, let's print out the value. Let's print out the value inside this. Let's say alert computer generated blah blah the number. So let's look at it. Let's enter Sunday, start. Good. Let me select intermediate. Good. Computer selected generated 5. So he wants me to answer the questions. Okay, so this is because of this. So if I remove it, we won't see such a thing. You see infinite. So let's reset back this to 10 seconds. Okay, good. We can restart the system. Let me close this and open it from here. Yep, so that's all about Java. So I'm going to explain this in the part 4. So again, so that we can get it, each of this line, what each line is doing. Okay, so for now, let's call it day. Let's show start. Okay, then let's select add. Okay, let's try it again. All right.